Hi, it's Mike Evans here from MobileMentalism with the third part of my Motorola Atrix review. This time I'm looking at the Motorola Atrix lap dock itself in terms of can you actually use the lap dock as a replacement for the laptop? That's the key question I'm going to ask here. Well, to cut a long story short, yes, end of review. No, joking. You can, generally, but I'm guessing you want to know exactly how well it works. Now, the first thing I have to say is it is clearly a little bit slower than your average laptop. Your average laptop these days, you've got very, very powerful processors running it, lots of memory, etc., everything on board. With the lap dock, you've got the dual-core NVIDIA Tegra 2 processor powering the Motorola Atrix, which is the phone that's driving it, which obviously, although extremely powerful for a phone, isn't quite up there as far as your average laptop is concerned. These days they run at, what, 1.6 gigahertz, and they've got very, very optimized for running Windows 7 or whatever. What the lap dock is doing, you've got the Atrix powering it. Now, when you first fire it up, you do actually have a desktop. Now, this is the actual Atrix phone itself. This mobile view, this is the phone. So whatever is actually on the phone itself, well, it's there. So you can do everything you normally would on the phone, and I do mean everything, because you are actually accessing the phone here. So if you wanted to play Angry Birds, there it is. Opens up in a nice little tab. Because it's because this Angry Birds is played landscape, the actual window will move across, and there you are playing Angry Birds on your lap dock. But obviously it's the phone that's playing it. So you can go into it, do what you want to do, play it. Now the pinch zoom obviously is a little difficult, but as you can see, there you are, playing Angry Birds on the mobile phone through the lap dock. It's a little confusing. Now you'll notice that because you've opened up a different application within the phone itself, that you get this tabbed view of the phone. So you can go back to the home screen. This is just like you holding down home and scrolling through the different applications that you've got on the phone itself. Well, that's the phone. Now, you've also got this concept, this web top here. This is another application that's running from within the phone, but when you open up the lap dock, it's this that you see. So from a laptop perspective, this is what you've got. It's using Firefox to power everything, believe it or not. Now, there are some applications here. This is kind of like your taskbar down below. So you've got access to your messaging, your contacts. There's an entertainment center there to showing off your videos and photos, which I'll show shortly. Your file manager. Now, it's a variant of Linux that this is using, because ultimately Android is Linux based. Now, it's a FAT32 file system, which means it's compatible with Windows. So anything that's expecting a Windows file system is there. You won't have a problem using it. So in this case, it's a simple Explorer, but it's very, very usable, and it's easy to access all your files and everything, they all are, and do what you want with them. So, for example, you're in Google Docs and you want to upload a photo. Just take your phone out, take the photo, pop it back in again. The photo will appear in this directory. Just insert it in Google Docs. So it's an extremely easy way of accessing all your files and taking photos, for example, when you're on the run, and uploading them very swiftly. You can switch between applications. Now, you've got, if you do Alt-Tab on Windows, obviously you can switch through the different applications. Here you've got this little icon. And then what this shows is all the different applications that you've got running here. So at the moment I've just got the actual phone itself and a Firefox browsing session, which I'll go to now. And so this is the Firefox browsing session. Now, if you're editing documents, this obviously is what you'll be using. I should state, like I say, sometimes it slows a little, particularly when you've gone from one context to another, like I have done here. So every now and then you will find that it can be a little bit slow, but I gotta say, it's not a deal breaker. It's not ridiculously slow. So I just made some notes there. Apologies for my very poor typing style. There we go. But as you can hopefully see, typing rather fast, albeit poorly, is not a problem. And you really can use the Atrix's, should that be with a C, like matrices? Anyway, the Atrix's laptop as a laptop replacement without any problem. There you go. That is quite possibly the worst example of typing in the world, but it does show you that you can type very, very fast. It's not like you have to pause. Like I say, if you type in a large document, then every now and then it might slow down on you or just pause briefly. But it's not in a bad way, not in a way that you can't use it. I wrote the review for the Motorola Atrix on MobileMentalism with this document. This document here, clearly it's not finished, but it is the document that I used to actually write the review on, and it was no problem at all. And like I say, suppose, for example, I just arbitrarily go into here, if you want to take a photo of something and insert it here, as I did do as part of this review, you're in Google Docs. You want to insert an image, for example, so let's find an image. Well, when I started writing this review, I was in Starbucks naturally because I fancied a coffee. I took a picture of Starbucks. Because I took it on the phone, all I did, popped the phone out, took a photo, popped it back in again, came back into Google Docs, and then I thought, well, okay, I need that image. Everybody needs to see Starbucks at some point. Okay, now find it. Oh, there it is. So if I open that, damn it. If I make the image smaller, I should say first of all, then the image itself would be able to be uploaded very, very easily in Google Docs. Now, it's cloud-based computing, so there's loads of different ways that you can actually make it smaller. You can go into Picasa, you can go to Aviary, picnic.com, lots of these places will shorten it for you. So don't worry about the fact that because you're using Firefox, there's no actual photo manipulation software on there. This is Web 2.0, must be on Web 7.0 these days. There's loads of different applications online that you can actually edit documents with, but my point here is that it's so simple just to take a photo or a video for that matter and insert it into Google Docs or whatever, and it will do it just like that. So yeah, if you're into writing, if you're a journalist of some form or a student or a live blogger or something like that, this is absolutely perfect for you. Now, there's another reason why the Motorola Atrix and the laptop is absolutely perfect for you if you're one of those people I've just mentioned. If you have to go anywhere where, for example, you need the laptop that you're using not to run out of battery, you need it to last a long time. You also need connectivity access for a long time, no matter what happens. For example, if you're at a conference, and I've done this myself many a time, you go to a conference, every conference or event or expo I've ever been at, the Wi-Fi is always cancelled out because you get too many people trying to log onto the Wi-Fi at the same time and everything just dies. You don't want that. You don't need to worry about that with the Motorola Atrix because the Motorola Atrix is pairing things, and there's one thing you know about a smartphone: it's got a 3G connection. So you can use Wi-Fi, like I'm using here, or you can use the mobile phone network. Now, okay, so you're thinking to yourself, but I can if I've got a MiFi dongle, if you've got one of those little USB sticks that you just slot in with a SIM card that you slot in, and you can switch over to the mobile network that way. You can, but if you've noticed, you have to pay for the data monthly on that little USB stick. So in other words, what you're left with there is your own smartphone and a USB stick, both of which are requiring you to pay between £20 and £30 a month. In other words, you're doubling your mobile phone bill. With the Atrix, you're only paying for the data once, or everything is going through the Atrix. So as long as you've got a good enough data plan, and if you use T-Mobile, for example, like I do, they'll give you a gigabyte of data a month, which is plenty if you're just editing documents and the like. Well, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. You're not going to have a problem. You're only paying for that data once. You don't need that USB stick with the mobile phone 3G SIM inside it. So you don't have two bills. So straight away, you're halving your data bill, which is not to be underestimated. So you either use Wi-Fi or you use the single 3G data plan that you've got on your smartphone. Either way, you've got permanent connectivity no matter what happens in the conference or the event that you're at. Secondly, you might think to yourself, all this is surely using a lot of power. You've got the smartphone here. It has a 1950 milliamp hour battery, which is huge. To put that into context, the HTC Desire HD that I've got has a 1250 milliamp hour. So you've got nearly twice the battery size in the Motorola Atrix, and it will last genuinely a day and a half before you need to charge it. But you might think that using a screen this big, obviously blaring out at you with, like, lots of display and everything, you think, well, surely that's going to drain the battery. Well, no, because the lap dock itself, it's got a big battery in it. So when you're using the lap dock, it's the lap dock's battery that you're using, not the phone's. Better still, the lap dock is charging the phone. So you slot the Atrix into here, and if this had no charge, well, that's all right, because the lap dock is charging it. Better still, the lap dock itself, the battery in it is so big, it's good for 8 hours worth of continual use. So let's think about that. You're at a live blogging event, or you're a journalist somewhere, or you just need to work on some documents, maybe on a long haul flight, or whatever it is. You're somewhere where you need to work on your laptop for a long period of time. You have no power outlet. Equally, you want permanent connectivity. You don't want to worry about the Wi-Fi suddenly dropping, or the wireless access keys, anything like that. If that's you, then you need this device. Simply, you're going to halve your data bills, because you only have one data plan to work on. You've got 8 hours of continual use. It is good enough to use as a laptop. I'm not going to say that it's perfect, because clearly it's not. It's not going to replace a Windows 7 laptop if you want to play 3D games and do everything that you can on a big laptop. But if you just need to do documents, spreadsheets, anything like that, that's not going to put a huge load on the processor. If you want 8 hours worth of continual use, and if you want data connectivity where you are, and better still, you want to take your data with you, because all the data is on here. There's nothing whatsoever on the laptop dock. It's just a keyboard, a battery and a screen. All the data is secure here or in the cloud, so you can keep this to hand. Then the Motorola Atrix and the laptop dock, the lap dock, is exactly what you need. And when I say exactly what you need, I mean you've got no other choice, because this is the only device on the market that will do this. So if that's you, then you need this device.